What's up? It's Trev.
And it's your girl Lisa. We about to talk that real with y'all.
So get your snacks, your drinks,
or tea,
and get ready.
Cause we not holding back.
But don't be mad at us.
It is what it is.
All right, nailed it.
Did we?
That part.
You were supposed to say it is what it is with me. Exactly.
I thought I said it.
Did
I
not.
did it. Okay, you did a great job.
Says the man who's actually drinking tea.
Yeah.
Why are you drinking tea?
Because my daughter's getting me sick because of the nose Frida thing. I'm positive that's what it is.
Because you.
It is what it
her
is.
boogers out.
Yep. Yep. All right. Like.
You had to. It is what it is. Just
nose Frida. You like that? Nose Frida is getting a really, 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 really aggressive letter from me because anytime Tony gets sick and I use the nose Frida, I get sick. Those filters don't cut it.
The thing is. We're not going to talk about the nose Frida because we're going to do a review on it. We're actually like more so niching. Is that the right word? I feel like I cannot say it properly.
That's okay. Don't overthink it.
All right. Well, we're going to niche our social media accounts heavy going forward for several reasons. And that just works better, I guess, for our audiences, period. So we are definitely going to, we're parents, we're a couple, we're definitely going to be reviewing parent products. And the nose Frida is, that's number one. That's supposed to be number one on the list. Goddamn. But yeah, so like we have like our YouTube channels, our Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, all of that. So you'll have different content on each platform. You can choose which one you want, or you can just head over to our Patreon. I have my own Patreon, and that will be a everything hub, like literally everything, all the YouTube channels, everything. And then he'll have his own Patreon where it's like just literally like Trevor. So if you ever want to get to know Trevor for Trevor, go to his Patreon, which it's all new for us. So, the content is building.
Yeah.
We'll have exclusive content. We'll be going live on there. And early access.
Early access.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, like some real cool stuff. So like I'm really excited about our Patreon. And also because like I be having like some story times and like YouTube will flag me. They'll take my video down. There's certain things and pranks. We have a couple pranks they took down off of our channel. So I'm gonna just put it up on our Patreon. So
there you go.
Yeah, the stuff that like we can't put on YouTube or out there because it's too like adult, it's gonna go on my Patreon. Alright.
I'm glad you're keeping your story times though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You like them?
I do. I just like like story times in general. Yours, ours.
When we do them together, people like ours together for sure. Yeah.
Like, oh shoot, did we ever do the one on our proposal?
Did we?
I feel like we did, but it could just be the fact that like I've told that story before and maybe not to like the masses, but to people. So I can't. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I think we did it on Instagram Live. So I feel like we have to do it on our YouTube channel and do it again.
Such a good story.
It was a good story. It took him a long time. A long time.
Wow, that sounded real like old school. But why you gotta come for me? Like, I did it. Like, I mean, if you wanted to get married earlier, maybe you should have just popped the question. Maybe you could have asked me to get married.
Wow.
How about that?
Did I not offer that? Did I not say? Did I not offer that?
I don't know. You must not have because we didn't get married.
You would not. You would let me propose to you?
Hell yeah.
Let's talk about it. Is it okay for a woman to propose to their men? What do you think? Drop it in the comments below and let me know what you think. I would love to know.
I have to get my palate ready for this one.
What do you think?
I think it is.
You think
I think
it's
100% it is, yeah.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. I can understand that. I can understand that for however many years, however many eons, that was a thing. Like for a man to ask a woman for their hand in marriage. I get that. But I think at this point, I think it should be totally acceptable for a woman to ask a man for their hand. I don't think there's anything to be frowned upon on either side of it.
I don't think it's to be frowned upon. So let's fix that right there, because I don't want anybody thinking like I'm looking down or no. Okay. I don't think anything, but I still think that is part of a tradition that we should uphold. It's the same thing like when we talk about, like guys paying for dates. Oh God, is this another thing? Like, no?
No, it doesn't always have. But I just, that's the
It doesn't
point.
always have
It
to
doesn't
be.
have to be.
All
And
right.
I think,
But
and
on a
that my
first date, okay, let me ask you a question. On a first date, would you let the woman pay?
well, I would not.
Why?
I would not.
No, I'm talking about just you. Why not?
But I think I think a date and marriage are very different
Um, I'm saying,
because there will also be like, I mean, you will only ever have one first date,
and you will only ever have one proposal.
one, and I get that, but you'll
Exactly.
also have other dates where it's like, I know I can treat like, I know there'll probably be a time where she's like, can I take you out? Can I treat you here? Can I do this? Like, I feel like the proposal is a one, like legit a one time thing.
Exactly. So then,
So I think for me, I'm having a real tough time being like they're the same or like they're very similar situations. Whereas like I I know the type of man that I am. I would not want to have a woman pay on a first date, probably because I'm the one that's putting the date together. That's just the way that like I operate. But again, I don't think it's unacceptable if it's the other way around. I think it's
let's
fine,
change.
and because I think at this point in time in history, like there's such a push for gender equality and and a straying from the status quo, right? I think there's this really big push to change the narrative on like what women do, what men do, and what they can't. I think there's a lot more acceptance as to like a woman being the breadwinner. I think there's so much more acceptance as a women being having a bigger role than just the role that they may have had traditionally, right?
The
Because so
thing
I think like
is,
that's so I think it's okay. Now, I do understand that there's like I do
it's
understand
going
that
in.
women I'm
Go ahead. You
opinionated. I'm
go ahead, baby.
opinionated.
You go ahead. Say
But I
what you
do
gotta say.
understand that like within that to some extent I understand the female psyche that there's a lot more assertive women, there's a lot more women that are like go-getters and
And that's
bosses,
me.
right? Bosses running companies, exactly, just like my wife.
And that's me.
And I think for those women, in my mind, the women that want to be proposed to, it's like I go so hard every in every other aspect of my life. I pursue everything. I want the best. I try to get the best. Like I'm this aggressive person. I just want for once to be pursued. And that much I get. I think that's my interpretation of it when a woman's like, I don't want to be the one to propose. But I also think like it's there's also an issue with like society and like homegirls and stuff like that. Like
What you mean, homegirls?
I
What you
think
talking
there's
about?
like I think there's like there's a fear that people are gonna look at you differently if you're
Nah.
the one that's proposed.
Nah.
100%.
I'm
I
gonna
think so. I think so.
let me
I think
give
so.
you my
Go
opinion.
for it.
I am not scared. Okay, I don't care what nobody says. Like I feel like that's something going like nowadays in this generation in this time period that people are now leaning away from. Like they don't really care what people say because now social media is such a big thing that is like it's annoying, but like you'll get over it. So I don't think about that. Like I'm a boss. Like I'm very woman empowerment, everything. However, I still like that traditional feel of like a man chasing me, a man courting me, a man being chivalrous, and I feel like when a woman proposes to a man, it's also like, I have so much to say. It's like, how do I even get it all out? Okay. Is this also like when a woman proposes to a man, it kind of makes it seem like, oh, I don't want to like say it and it's like taken the wrong way. It's
Just say it.
lack of a better term. It's almost like the woman is desperate because most of the time, a man is the one that, most of the time, because there's times that a man wants to propose, a woman will say no. But most of the time, it's the man that is like, okay, like we're waiting for the man to be ready because a woman naturally, femininely, it's just part of their nurturing and their nature. They want to be wed. They want to have a family. They want to be in a monogamous you know what I'm saying,
Mm-hmm.
relationship. They want to have kids. They want to settle down. They want to have that house and home and family. And husband is the man that is like, well, I need to get my shit together. I need to work, and I need to make sure I'm able to provide for a family before I have a family. And a lot of times men take forever. They take a really long time to get ready and wrap their head around being tied to only one woman. So traditionally it's more like woman be ready, like,
Mm-hmm.
and if a woman proposes to a man, it's because like, damn, the dude is taking too long. That's how I kind of see it. I don't think it's anything necessarily wrong. I just feel like I wouldn't do it. And like, I just don't think, yeah, like
I agree.
I wouldn't do
That's
it.
fine. I think that's fine. Like 100%. I think that's okay. I'm a firm believer in knowing who you are, knowing what you want. I think in like the most general, broad sense for me, I think it's cool. Like it don't really matter. Again, just like with the whole first date, like I wouldn't do it. Like I'd rather
But
be the
that,
one to
okay,
propose
I have to
because
bring it back to that
because I think for me it's an experience that I want to have.
for the proposal.
I want to be the right. Like I know how I want to do things.
So you're
So
saying
for
it's an
me,
experience for you to propose?
yes,
Okay.
yes. Like I've like, it's something I've kind of had in my head traditionally, and for some people, like that's not them. Like they probably haven't thought about that. It may not that they don't want to get married, but maybe they haven't given it that much detail. But again, I personally don't feel like there's anything wrong with it. If a woman does decide that like, yo, like this is the guy I want, and if a guy's giving a woman those reasons that you mentioned, what if a woman's like, yo, you know what, like I'm just gonna ask him, like I want him, like I want him to, like, if I do it, he'll see that like it really doesn't matter that he's got to get all these things together, right? Because I mean, like, men are men. You can tell them it doesn't matter, doesn't matter, doesn't matter. Like, we ain't gonna listen to you.
So I have a question.
But
It doesn't.
but I think if a woman, in some cases, if a woman was to say, hey, like, will you marry me? Men would say yes.
You would say yes if I proposed to you?
You would, because I love you dearly.
You would.
I would.
You would have said yes if I proposed to you when we were like, I don't know, 25. You would have said yes.
Yes.
No, you would not.
Yes.
No, you want. No,
Yes.
you wouldn't. Number one,
Yes.
and number two, I also feel like.
I don't know if we would have worked, but I would have said yes.
I also feel like part of the reason is it almost like emasculates a man.
No, again, I disagree. And there was like a study done that showed that
That showed what? What they
it,
show?
it said this. It said this that I feel like it was like 100. They polled 100 men and women, and there were more women that had an issue with it, which I guess we'd fall into this category. There were more women that had an issue with it and thought like, I don't think that's the way it should be, than there were men that were like, if a woman proposed to me, I'd be like, cool. Like if I wanted to marry her and she proposed, I'd say yes. And I don't feel like to use the term you use, like I don't feel like it makes me any less masculine.
Well, no, the thing is, right? Like, I feel like
I have
men.
another point about that, but I'll let you go.
Okay, don't forget your point. But I also am saying, I think that the reason for that, you want to know why? Because men would say yes to a woman that they are ready to marry, right? So in that perfect situation, if a woman that a man is absolutely 1000% ready to marry at that point in time, of course they're going to say yes. Of course, it's fine. But how is a woman supposed to know that? And that's what I'm saying. Like, men, like I said, are less likely to want to settle down around the same time a woman does. Like, there's a lot of times that women like have to wait for a man to be ready. I waited for you. I waited for your ass. I was ready a long time ago, and you know that.
I don't know if we would have worked. But I think I think when it just comes to it, I think you just have those conversations, though. I feel like you, to some extent, when you get to that point where like marriage really becomes a thing, like you don't propose. I feel like most people don't propose without getting some type of feeling, some type of I guess, communication that the person you want to marry could potentially say yes. You know what I'm saying? I think like most times, especially
Mm-hmm.
like I think women are a lot more perceptive about it than men are, and I think and I think both genders could figure it out, but I think women would be more perceptive. So I think for a woman to ask, I think would be like, I'm gonna ask because
Women are not more perceptive.
I think
I mean,
so.
I
I'm
doubt
giving
it.
y'all a lot of credit here.
No, they don't.
You know,
They're not.
so
You know how many women they have? Why? Women have babies just to keep a man around, thinking they gonna stay, and they still
but the thing
don't
is,
stay.
I'm saying, I'm not generalizing. I'm not saying like, you know, all women are like this or all men are like that. Like there's bad apples everywhere. But I think on the whole, there's a like plethora of really good, well put together women out there,
Thank
and
you.
I don't
I'm one of
want them absolutely, and I don't think it is unreasonable for them to want to propose to a man. I don't think it's unreasonable for a man to be accepting of said proposal. I just think like
I
at
just
this
think
point,
if I had to propose to you, I would feel some type of way about it.
but that's like on you, and I guess like the question, I guess like when women feel that way, like you feeling that way, I think it just gives me more questions, because it's like where's that coming from? When you said it was like, because you mentioned a woman feeling desperate, and it's like I don't actually know, because I think at this point in time, I think people are a lot more aware of the fact that they've got options. You know what I mean? So I feel like desperation is not like an actual thing, not as much as maybe used to.
That's not true.
But
That's
I think
not true.
that's okay. I think
Because
that's my opinion. But
I also, and this is just me speaking out to us because I don't want nobody coming for me, but I also can't see a woman in their 20s proposing to a man. I feel like that would happen when they're a little bit older, when they are ready to settle down, and it's just like, listen, this is my time to settle down, and if we don't do this now, like, it's probably not going to happen, and I need to know where our relationship is going. So that's like the time
I think you're projecting.
No.
I think you're projecting you.
No.
I think you're projecting
No,
you
hold
on the world.
No, like, do you not remember Chrissy and Jim Jones situation? You don't know about that? Like, she wound up proposing to him. I don't even remember if he said yes or no, if he said yes, but I felt like that probably was a little emasculating for him. I felt like
I think Jimmy's fine.
of course he's fine, because they wound up getting married. I don't know if it even worked out at that point, but it was more like she was older. She was like, I'm tired of waiting. I'm gonna do this. Like, what are we doing? I think that's when it's a point of desperation. It's a point of like, okay, if this is not happening now, it is never gonna happen, and I need to know where we're going with this.
I mean, I think it's tough, because I just think like their relationship. I don't know a whole lot about Jimmy and Chrissy, but Chrissy did what she needed to do, and I personally don't want people feeling like, because I don't look at Chrissy any type of way. Like, you telling me that, I'm not like, like
I look at her like she is a woman that knows what she wants, and she's gonna go after what she wants, and she wears the pants in the house. That's what I look at her as.
See, but like that, and that's again like,
it's not a bad thing.
No, but okay. I think there's like it's you. The minute you feel that way, it's like she has to be the one to wear the pants, and it's like, why does anybody have to wear pants? Right? Like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't have to wear pants. It doesn't have to, you don't. In your house, you don't have to wear pants.
Yeah, you kind of do.
You know what I'm saying? Okay. So like, it's kind of like, well, why does it have to be an emasculating thing? Why does marriage, why does something so beautiful have to take away from something? Like that's what's bothering me.
All right, so how come y'all don't be planning the weddings? So if a woman proposes to a man, then the next thing, the man needs to plan the wedding.
And I bet you there's men. I actually know a man that put together a wedding.
And he's straight?
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
Like happily did it.
Okay.
So again, it's like, it doesn't matter. I don't
was
think
there any
exterminate
or whatever circumstances?
I'm sure there were, but like I think at the end of the day, it's like if it was something that he did not want to do without her, he wouldn't have. I think, come on, man. Like, I think right now at this point in time, it doesn't matter. That's just how I feel. If you want to propose to a man, boo, go ahead and propose to that man.
Did you say boo?
Yep. I hope he says yes. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
like,
I hope so too.
I do, and I don't think it. And fellas, I don't think it makes you any less of a man. I think it's in some ways like it would be nice to know that like, yo, like she really like I'm it for her. Like she felt the need to do that, because I get it. Like, you know, what I was reading is that a lot of women feel that they fear judgment by their peers and like people close to them, because it strays away from the norm. You know, so like that, and for me it's like,
I
damn,
can see
man.
that. I can
It's like,
understand
and
that.
I do understand that, but again, it's just like we're at a point now where like all we're trying to do is stray away from gender roles and societal norms, and again, gender equality in so many different forms, and it's just like it just sucks me like you pick and choose, you know. It's like I think do what works for you, but be okay if other people choose to do things a little bit differently.
My thing is that forget about, I understand why women would feel like, oh, their peers and their family and everybody's gonna judge them. I can understand that, but like, let's just take that away. Let's just say like it's completely normal for a woman to propose to their man. I just also feel like a woman, when they get to that point that they feel like they need to be the one to propose, it's kind of like I would question our relationship, like, and to project onto me and our relationship. That's how I felt. I'm like, okay, we've been dating for however long. We're not, and it's not just proposal. Like I told you, I'm like, we're not taking the next step. Like if we're not taking the next step, and I'm ready to take the next step, I'm waiting for you to take the next step. What are we doing? Like, why are we even doing this? You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's where it's like, you know, like women are more times than not the ones that are ready to settle down, ready to be in a serious relationship more than a man, ready to start a family sooner than a man. And that's more so, I think, why women wait for men, because we're like, okay, we don't want to pressure you, and we don't want to make you feel like, okay, if I propose to you, like I'm forcing you to be with me, I'm forcing you to settle down, and then we don't want you to regret it. That's a reason why women wait for men to propose to them.
But I don't think it's any different. I think if you keep having those conversations, very similar to like what happened with us, it was like, oh, look, this isn't changing, so I'm going to leave. So I think it's one or the other. You know what I'm saying? I feel like it's just two sides to the same coin. That's my interpretation.
Your
of
interpretation. You just wanted the last word.
No, but like you can't say something and not me have an answer.
But then I can answer that too.
100%.
Then we could just go on forever. He just don't want me to have the last word.
No.
Anyway, guys, comment below and let us know your thoughts on
Please.
it. Do you know anybody that has proposed to their man, a woman proposing to their man? Does it really matter?
And total sidebar.
Matter, do you guys think it
but
matters?
not really a sidebar. I want to hear from any men that have planned a wedding.
That you ain't gonna get no ain't nobody
please.
gonna say,
I've got faith in y'all.
All right,
there's gonna be a woman that's like, my husband put together the whole wedding, and I'm gonna be like, yo, shout him out. I'm gonna give him a shout out.
Yeah.
In our next
video. In one of the next videos. All right, guys. Well, anyway, make sure you subscribe to our channel.
Like this video.
Share it with your friends, all of that stuff. And you can find our podcast on literally every single platform. So if YouTube doesn't work for you while you're driving, check us out on Spotify, on Apple, on Google, Pandora. I believe we're literally on every platform that you listen to podcasts. We are pretty much there. Okay?
Yep.
And we'll see you in our next video.
Bye.
Bye.
I win again.
You're right. Here you go.